If you've ever struggled with shaker cards feeling flat or getting jammed, stick around because we are changing the game today. I'm sharing a card that's literally bursting with love and sparkle, and the best part, it's surprisingly easy to recreate. Today we are using the brand new Heart Aplenty Die by Simon Stamp to create a window shaker card that looks incredibly intricate but comes together effortlessly. And wait until you see the hidden trick I use to make sure those tiny sequins never get stuck in those delicate corners. Now, this die will beautifully cut out a ornate heart design with lots of open space and delicate interior details. Now, I absolutely love how beautiful this is. It's a single die, it's super easy to use with any of your standard die cutting machine. And this is the perfect size to be a focal point on your card front. Or in our case today, I will be creating a shaker window that really showcases the sparkle and the dimension of that intricate design on the die. What I love most about this kind of design is that you get high-end detail looks with minimal effort, no layering 10 different pieces or tiny cuts that are hard to line up. And when paired with foam tape and acetate, that open pattern makes a shaker pop and draws the eye right to all that beautiful movement. I started by die cutting an A2 size white cardstock panel. We have the window ready, and here you'll see me pop out all the little die cut pieces from our main die cut focal point. I started by cutting an A2 size panel from white cardstock and die cutting the heart window right at the top center. Now, once the window was cut, I carefully popped out all the extra pieces from the delicate heart focal point. For now, I set the delicate, intricate die cut aside and we'll move on to working on our card front, which now has that beautiful open heart window. Before adhering any acetate or foam tape to the back, I decided to stamp my sentiment first. I placed the panel onto my stamp wheel and stamped the sentiment that says, "With love," from the new Locket of Love stamp set. I absolutely love the font on this sentiment. It's clean, elegant, and timeless. I stamped it along the lower right hand corner of the heart window using my Alt New crisp black ink. Now that our card front is ready, let's move on to creating the window for our shaker card. I have a small piece of acetate that I'll be adhering to the back of the window, but before doing that, I'm layering some double-sided adhesive around the opening. Now, whenever I'm working with plastic or acetate, I prefer using double-sided adhesive instead of liquid glue. Acetate has such a slippery surface that the liquid glue can easily seep out around the edges, and I like to keep everything as clean as possible. Double-sided tape or even a tape runner works perfectly for this step. Now, once the adhesive is in place, I peel off the backing and carefully adhere the acetate to the back of the panel, making sure it fully covers the window opening. Now, if you're a beginner card maker, make sure your adhesive completely frames the window with no gaps. Even a tiny opening can let your shaker bits escape later. I also like to press the acetate down gently with a bone folder or even with my fingertips to make sure that it is fully sealed. Next, I'm adding foam tape all the way around the window, making sure to cover every portion of that opening. This creates a well for our shaker elements, so when the card stands upright, all those shaker bits stay inside the window instead of sliding down to the bottom of the card. I'm using just a single layer of foam tape here, which gives plenty of room for movement, but if you love extra dimension and lots of sparkle, you can absolutely double up the foam tape to create a deeper shaker well. Now that our card front with the heart window is ready, the next step is to create a background panel that will sit behind the window. And for that, I chose a beautiful light pink shade of cardstock. Now, initially, I had planned to keep it simple and leave the soft baby pink color as is, but I decided to add a subtle ombre effect instead. I used a deeper shade of pink. This is rose from the Positively Saturated ink line to add a subtle ombre effect here. I used a very light hand to gently ink blend just along the right hand corner of the window opening to add a little extra depth and interest. Since we'll be adding that delicate die cut heart to this window, I'm keeping the background fairly clean and letting the ombre shine on its own. But if it was a plain window design, this would definitely be a perfect spot to stamp a sentiment or add a little focal point image to the background panel as well. The next step is the fun part, adding all those beautiful, shiny, sparkly shaker bits into the window. Now, here's a quick tip that I like to follow personally is to remove all the backing from the foam tape before adding your sequins. This makes the process less messy as compared to trying to remove the backing after you add the shaker bits because there are chances that those bits might get stuck to the foam tape. Now I'm using a mix of sequins that will add gorgeous shine and movement to the finished card. You can definitely add as much or as little you like, depending on how full you want your shaker to feel. Now, before sealing the window with that background panel, make sure all the sequins are sitting inside the window opening and none of them is stuck on the foam tape. This step is key for smooth shaker movement. Once everything looks good, I seal the window using our beautiful pink ink blended ombre background panel, and our shaker window is absolutely ready. Before adhering the shaker panel to my card, I like to give it a good shake a few times. This step is really important because it helps me double check that everything is fully sealed and that there's no gaps where any of those shaker bits can accidentally spill out of the window later on. It also gives me a chance to make sure that the sequins are moving freely inside the shaker. Now we are going to bring back the delicate heart die cut that we set aside earlier in the beginning of the video. This piece fits perfectly into the window opening and adds that beautiful intricate detail right on top of our shaker window. Now, even though I usually avoid using liquid glue when working with acetate, this is one situation where liquid glue adhesive actually works best. I am using my Barely Art liquid glue and applying the tiniest dots with fine tip point, focusing only on the solid portions of that delicate die cut. A little goes a long way here. To make this step easier, I'm holding the die cut with my reverse tweezers, which gives me much better control and prevents bending or damaging those tiny little details. Once the glue is applied, I carefully place the heart into the open window and gently tap it in place, making sure it's properly aligned. I also take a moment to check that none of the glue seeps out from behind the die cut, thereby keeping the window clean and crystal clear. And with that, our shaker window card front is finally ready. The last step is simply adhering the finished panel onto a top folding A2 size card base. For my card base, I chose the same light pink cardstock to keep everything cohesive and soft. Now, since we already added foam tape around the window to create depth for the shaker, I decided to glue the panel directly onto my card base rather than adding more foam tape. This keeps the card neat and allows the shaker window to sit perfectly without any extra bulk. And well, here it is, our finished shaker window card. Look at how those sequins catch the light and add movement inside the delicate heart window. It's so sparkly and full of light. And I just love how that ombre background peeks through and complements the soft pink cardstock. This card looks intricate and stunning, but as you've seen, it's actually quite simple to recreate once you know the little tricks like layering your foam tape and using tweezers for those delicate die cut pieces. I hope this tutorial inspires you to try your own shaker cards, experiment with colors, and add a little sparkle to your projects as well. Now, I will be sure to link all the supplies that I used to create this card down in the description box below. Please know that all of these links are affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you guys. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.